specific to other countries or specific to individual countries, right? It is not a set of tariffs where basically how do I put this? It it can't be on individual countries, right? It is only allowed to be global, right? So the IEPA, the one that got struck down, basically, he was saying, oh, it was for trade imbalances, it was retribution for trafficking drugs, and this one can only be global, right? So there's a global 15% tariff on everyone. Now, while it makes it cheaper for some countries, it actually made it more expensive and heightened the tariffs for countries that had already worked out a trade deal. For instance, the UK. Now, there are some exemptions from these tariffs, okay? Um, those would include things on minerals. Uh, they include tariffs that are on things for like the aerospace sector, for some electronics, right? Mostly military stuff. So all of that is safe from being tariffed. But the majority of things are still going to have tariffs. However, the tariffs in a lot of cases are not going to be as high as they were. Now, another key difference is that these tariffs have an expiration date. Okay. So whereas the other ones had no end date given, these tariffs, um, using this power that has actually never been used by any president before ever, um, these tariffs expire in 5 months. And the only way that these tariffs can be extended is through congressional approval. So there is a really, really interesting kind of question here, which is what ends up happening in the long term, right? I think I think that most members of Congress probably don't want these tariffs just because it makes everything more expensive for their constituents, and that could really, really harm them as they're trying to get reelected. So I am I'm patiently waiting to see that. Now, as for the effects today, what I could tell you is had those tariffs not been placed on Friday evening, we would have saw we likely would have saw the most unimaginable pump ever. But because those tariffs were placed, that's a little bit up in the air. I think that overall that these are less impactful than the last round of tariffs, right? You don't have any countries that are getting slapped with 50% tariffs or 45%, right? Like we're not seeing that. But a global 15% tariff does impact maybe some countries' view on the US and how reliable we are, right? Because we had worked out deals. It took months to work out deals. And now because the US cannot tariff countries individually, we are now going to be tariffing everyone. Some of those deals have just been broken by the US. So we're in a really interesting spot, and the U.S. has always benefited tremendously from global trade, right? Since the end of World War II, we have benefited tremendously from global trade. If you look back at time, we have done this whole tariff thing, right? Twice in the past with massive tariffs. And one of them actually was one of the things that kind of spurred on the civil war here in the US, right? So tariffs and the US have a long history of not working with each other, right? It's not good for our economy. It wasn't in the 1800s, it wasn't in the 1970s, and it doesn't really work now, right? And we could see that because the GDP print that we had, um, the GDP print that we had on Friday was honestly terrible. And if it wasn't for the Supreme Court telling us, "Oh, hey, by the way, like we're gonna nix these tariffs," like we would have dumped on that news, right? Missing by over a percent on GDP growth when it had already been revised down is huge, right? Like that's massive. That's a big miss. So, things are a little bit up in the air. I'm cautiously optimistic. Um, but overall, I think that regardless of which direction the market decides to go this week, that while it is being priced in, and while the big boys, all the banks, hedge funds, asset managers, etc., while institutions are positioning themselves to benefit and to profit from the repricing of the American indices as a whole, I think that we're going to see a lot of chop. We're going to see a lot of volatility. Um, I think that things are going to be moving relatively quick. It might not happen today, but at some point this week, I think that we are going to have some explosive moves. So, today is a day to take small position sizing as per usual, but especially on these volatile days, right? You want to take smaller positions and use a nice wide stop loss and really, really wait for the big reactions, right? This isn't a day where you want to have a knee jerk reaction and say, oh, well, it dipped a little bit, so clearly that's a short, right? This isn't the kind of day that you want to do that on. Like, we want to wait for confirmed moves. Overall, I think that this situation, because the markets are forward looking and because we have an expiration date on these tariffs, which we didn't have under the other ones, I think overall the market will be pleased, right? I think that there will be a bullish reaction, but it remains to be seen, right? Because not only has a president never done this before, right? This power was granted, I think, in 1977, if I'm not mistaken. I might have that year wrong, but it's somewhere in the 70s. And it's just, this has never been tested, right? This has never been tested. So we have another big first in an administration that has been just constantly testing the boundaries, right? And just kind of looking at the history, right? Again, tariffs have not done well for us, and this time they appear to not have done well. Now there is another question that we have, and this one is a little bit tricky. So the next question that Supreme Court ruling brought up for us is the question of refunds to the companies that import, right? Which is basically every single company in the US for the most part, right? Very, very little is actually 100% made here. So when the Supreme Court said that those tariffs were unconstitutional, they're opening the door for lawsuits against the US government to refund that money. And as these lawsuits are going to be entered into, right, by the companies that are suing the US government to get a refund on those tariffs, the government will also be collecting these new tariffs. In addition to that, the money that they might be requesting to get as a refund might have already been spent. So there's an absolute mess that needs to be cleaned up by the Treasury. And there is just an absolutely massive amount of administration work that needs to be done. And I don't know where all this settles. I think that there are going to be a lot of lawsuits regarding those refunds. So I wouldn't be I wouldn't be thinking like, oh, all of these companies are suddenly going to have a big windfall of cash, right? I don't think that that's going to be the case at all. I think that they're going to fight this tooth and nail, they being the administration, because clearly, right, within just a few minutes of the decision released by the Supreme Court, Trump tweeted out, oh, 10% tariffs on everyone. And then he literally woke up on Saturday morning and said, you know what, now it's 15. So clearly, they feel very strongly about these tariffs. And I don't think that this is going to be just like kind of a one and done conversation, right? This is going to be a little bit of an ongoing situation. And while I am bullish long term, I'm not sure how the effects are going to play out short term, right? Because burning bridges with your allies is never good. Burning bridges with your largest trading partners is never good. And I mean, again, right? Like most of the U.S. economy relies on importation, right? So we import basically everything, right? Basically everything. We grow a lot of food here, but for the most part, everything else is imported. And even a lot of the food that we eat is imported here, right? That's how we can get certain fruits and vegetables out of season, is because we import them from places where it's not out of season, right? If it's winter in North America, then it's summer in South America, right? So they have completely different seasons where they can grow things. So, the effects should be somewhat bullish, but I think it's going to take some time. And I think that we're going to have heavy volatility this week as we reprice that in. Does anyone have any questions on these tariffs and what they might mean? Right? Any questions at all? I'm going to see if there's maybe anything that you guys are concerned about, anything that you guys were kind of questioning that maybe I missed. But that's basically the situation. Can everyone else hear me? M13 can't hear me. I think that gold and silver will probably be going up. I think gold and silver will probably go up. Now, we are going to want to wait just a little bit and obviously get a confirmation of that. But gold and silver tend to do well in environments where there is like persistent inflation, which is something we've been seeing, right? We've been seeing this persistent inflation. Gold and silver have done really well this year as a result. They also do well during times of economic uncertainty. With our GDP print, we are uncertain. And with this back and forth over tariffs that keeps, just changing over and over again, gold and silver might be somewhat viewed as a safe haven, because traditionally they are, right? Traditionally they are a safe haven. So I think that if anything, gold and silver would have a positive reaction. And they are right now, actually, right? As is oil. Um, so yeah, gold and silver should be pretty good. Silver especially is really on watch, because while that volatility has died down a bit from the big parabolic run that led to like a literal 4x in price over the year, there's still quite a bit of volatility there. I mean, for silver to be moving 2, 3, 4% a day, like that's pretty volatile for silver, right? Like traditionally, silver is kind of a boring trade, and it's really only gotten exciting this year. However, my eyes are going to be on NASDAQ and the US 30 as we attempt to price this in. And if for whatever reason one of them is just completely untradeable, maybe we'll swap over to silver throughout the day. But that is genuinely, kind of expected, right? It's kind of expected that that gold and silver would do pretty well.
To be honest, I see more like big uncertainty in the metals.
Now, why do you see uncertainty? Or are you just talking about the chart?
In metals in general, simply because there was like times when profits have already been taken. It got ramped down like $1,000 already.
Mm-hmm.
And people don't really have a safe haven anymore, because most of the long positions from like over a year ago got liquidated.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's also a fair point, right? That's also a really fair point. I think that despite the volatility, um, we do still have a safe haven in those precious metals. I think that, again, right, like and this is kind of just my thoughts on it, right? I think that silver is extremely overvalued, but that doesn't mean that it can't pump further. It doesn't mean it can't pump further. And we are seeing some volatility there, which makes it a little bit harder to use as a hedge, which is traditionally what it is, right? Normally, you would grab these precious metals, gold in particular, as a hedge against the currency in your country, right? And as assets and your country's currency performs poorly, gold is there to kind of pick up the pieces, right? And to keep you safe. And I think that even throughout all this volatility, that it still does that, because gold is finite, silver is finite. And while gold is very useful and silver is somewhat useful, I do think that gold in particular, will continue to be a main component of most portfolios. And I suspect that there will be some crazy trading surrounding those precious metals in the coming days and weeks. So gold generally isn't very volatile. Gold has been volatile lately, but gold is not generally volatile, Magma. Like under normal circumstances, right? And by normal circumstances, I mean like outside of all of the crazy shit that's happened this year, gold, uh, it really is like a slow mover, right? Like a third of a percent, half a percent a day. Like my portfolio, my long-term portfolio, holds gold as a hedge, and it holds a gold miner, right? It holds a gold miner that has a treasury of gold, because gold is generally very stable and it doesn't move much, right? There's very low fluctuation and variation of price, and that makes it really ideal to just hold on to and hedge it against inflation of the U.S. dollar. In a way, assets kind of hedge against inflation as well, right? Because as the dollar loses value, the things that are valuated in dollars are worth more dollars, right? Because the value of Nvidia doesn't change overnight, just because there's more dollars, right? Like it produces the same that it's always produced. However, the dollars that it is valuated in are worth less, right? Which means that you need more dollars to make up the value of Nvidia, right? And it's not just Nvidia, obviously. It's every stock, right? Assets tend to perform really well during times of high inflation, and gold is often viewed as kind of just the safe haven, right? So we are. I don't know. I'm feeling relatively positive about this. I do just think that there's a chance it's going to take a little bit more time, right? Like if we had not gotten these tariffs, these 15% tariffs under this other obscure law, and it almost seems like, the first thought is place tariffs, and then the second thought is, now how can we justify it with an existing law on the books, right? That's what it feels like to me. Had we not gotten these tariffs, though, I think we would have seen just like a god candle, right? Like one of the most epic pumps that you've ever witnessed. But now with these new tariffs, it's kind of up in the air, right? It's kind of up in the air. And I think that our real saving grace here is that in order to extend these new global tariffs past that 5-month period, you have to have congressional approval. So that Supreme Court ruling did say a lot, right? It said the power to place tariffs lies with Congress. So a check on the U.S. government, right? One of the checks and balances, right? A check on the U.S. government worked, and it held its ground amidst all of this madness that we've been seeing. And that's a really big deal. That is a really big deal. But yeah, the time limit is what really, really kind of makes me feel positive about it. Is the fact that there seems to be an end in sight, right? I spent all weekend listening to like a few constitutional lawyers. I have a friend who actually practices corporate law, so I talked to him a bit. Did a whole lot of reading. I read through those laws, regarding all of the tariffs and the specific laws that are being used, what the parameters are, what can be done, what can't be done, and overall, I'm thinking that I'm thinking that it's relatively positive. I just don't know that we're going to see that right away. Magma, yes, I am going to. I also have a bunch of videos that are like hidden and unlisted, that are just for our warrior tier. So be sure to sign up and you can access the rest of them as they come out, right? There's probably like 75% of them, 60% of them, something like that, are going to be for our Warrior subscribers only, right? Some of the more in-depth ones kind of going into strategy. Those are going to be behind the Warrior tier. So be sure to pick that up. But yeah, there will be more. There will be more coming. I've just been a little bit busy, especially this weekend with all the tariff stuff, right? Like that was a whole lot of reading. That was a whole lot of reading. But yeah, that's pretty much where we are, guys. So, right, be safe today. We're going to be doing live trades here on, obviously on this stream. So we'll see what kind of opportunities we can get. But again, I really do just want to caution you guys. Like, I am expecting volatility. NM trades. So we trade based off of liquidity. So the strategy that I use is one that I've developed. I call it my Remora strategy, because basically what we seek to do is we seek to locate the whales, figure out what they're doing, and we basically latch onto them and leech off of those moves, right? That's it. It's really easy. It's liquidity based. Yeah, exactly, right? So we use order flow, but we also, in addition to using order flow, we do kind of add in a little bit of that macro analysis, right? Because obviously the big persistent pressures often come from like macroeconomic conditions, or lately political changes within the US. So we look at a wide variety of things, and part of that probably comes from my background as a swing trader, right? So I've been a swing trader for 13 years, and a long-term investor for 13 years as well. And those are things that I have found were very useful there. And as I kind of transitioned over to scalping a little bit more often, right, to kind of fund those things, those are just some things that I kind of kept because they were very useful. So the strategy is it's pretty simple. It's a little bit different, but hang out for the stream and kind of judge for yourself, see for yourself. Yeah. And generally, we're looking to make some really just kind of straightforward trades, right? We look for real obvious breaks of structure with continuation. We look for crazy upticks in volume. We look for big like imbalances in the order book. Order blocks obviously are another thing. I don't always look at or really ever. I don't ever really look at things that are like the fair value gaps and things like that, right? Like I don't subscribe to like ICT. I mean, no, that's a very clean break of structure, right? So, it looks like you probably trade ICT, right? Because you have your fair value gap, you have your SMT. Whereas with me, I would have just seen, right, the break of structure and claiming of a key liquidity level, and that would have been enough for me, right? So we're looking at the same thing. We're just looking at it through different lenses, right? And that's kind of the beauty of trading, is that we can all view things a little bit differently. and come to the same conclusions, right? That really is truly the beauty of trading. Um, right? You have an opportunity to kind of almost express yourself on the tape, and nothing is quite as challenging as trading, right? There's nothing that has allowed me to really learn not only about the world, but even just about myself, like trading has. So, I'm right there with you. Yeah. Yeah. Everyone, I think everyone has to kind of find their own way. I would agree with that. A lot of the people that I see that kind of copy pasted ICT, right? In my experience, I see that there's a lot of people that kind of they try to focus on too much at once, right? And if you're trying to watch 7 or 8 things and you need every confluence to line up perfectly in order to take a trade, well, by the time you check everything, like that entry might kind of already be gone. What's good, JP? Good morning, brother. Good morning. But yeah, so it's really just it's a matter of preference, right? I know that in the 13 years that I've been doing this, that this strategy works for me, right? And I don't know about you guys, but I will say that there's a lot of traders that don't make it as long as I have. And I'm not saying that to like amp myself up, but what I am saying is that, the 13 years of experience has helped a ton, right? It's helped a ton. It's really helped me kind of see things a little bit more clearly. But yeah. So we are consolidating pretty heavily on NASDAQ. We have a nice area of liquidity here. So far, this has seemed like an accumulation pattern, right? What do we have? We have higher highs. Boom, boom, boom. We have higher lows. Boom, 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 boom. We are running up against a little bit of resistance, but if it breaks through this immediate area, right, maybe crossing, say, 896, then the volume profile gets relatively thin until about 903. And then we really don't see any kind of liquidity on the volume profile until around 908. So we are on the verge of making kind of just a big jump up to this next liquidity level, right? Because those of you that have been in the streams before, you have heard me describe this, right? These areas of liquidity, right? These areas of liquidity are like stepping stones, okay? So the power of 3, or AMD, right, basically suggests that everything is accumulation, manipulation, or distribution. And that's 100% the way that the market just functions, right? It's not even so much a suggestion as it is a fact, right? That is how the market functions. It's how any market functions, right? Even if we're talking about, buying tomatoes and reselling them at a higher price, right? Like, no matter what market you're talking about, accumulation, manipulation, distribution always apply. So this, to me, seems kind of like accumulation, right? In fact, all of this feels like accumulation to me, because we haven't gotten any real clear manipulation yet. Yeah, I think that we have some bullish action that's going to be unleashed. But as always, we're going to wait for confirmation, because Unfortunately, I am also expecting quite a bit of choppiness, right? I think that it's going to take a little bit of time for everyone to get positioned to take advantage of any kind of repricing. I think that these new tariffs, um, that some people, like, the immediate knee jerk reaction is going to be, oh no, right? There's tariffs again. But what really changed? Because it's not like we pumped on that news on Friday. Like, nothing has really changed because all of this happened over a weekend. And we didn't get the massive pump on Friday because the GDP was so bad, right? Because tariffs are negatively impacting the US economy. Something at 880 on your end. I have something at 887, and yes, actually, I do have one at 880 right where we're sitting. That one just has been developing for the last, I don't know, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, something like that. This started off as a really, really small little volume cluster when I began my tirade on when I began my tirade. Yeah, so I'm using the CFD chart, and that's because I mostly trade CFDs. Right, I like CFDs. CFDs and futures fortunately move together for the most part. Futures are subject to a little bit more mispricing that you could potentially take advantage of, but you could also, get a little bit burned by that mispricing. So, for me, I like CFDs. I like being able to pick my own risk. Oh, at 819. Yeah, I mean, I do have 819 as a level. That is the low of today. Yeah, that's today's low. We actually came in double bottom there. So yeah, I do have that one, 819. And then I have us down at 799 is the other big point that I have. Right? And that one was taken from a little bit more of a macro, like liquidity level that's existed for quite some time. But yeah. I do have that 819. Absolutely. And what you'll see is that again, right? I'm really just eyeing this gap in liquidity here because I'm curious to see if we break out, like literally right here, right? If we break out right here, I think we're gonna have a really quick move up. But we need confirmation, right? We need follow up. This could be it right here. I don't generally trade pre-market. Oh, I would love a manipulation below those London lows. Absolutely. Absolutely agreed. All right, everybody, how are we feeling today? Are we ready? Are we feeling bullish? Are we feeling bearish? Our poll earlier today said everyone was feeling bullish. Is that how you guys are feeling still? We still bullish? Had to unmute Icarus because for whatever reason, my restream likes to just mute him.
Man, damn.
It really does. I know. It feels bad, dude. It feels awful for me. I feel like a jerk for having you muted.
Just say I have to get off.
All right, Hova's saying we got chop. Hova's saying that we got chop.
Did you participate in the poll before?
JP's feeling bullish. Okay.
Good, because people who participated in the poll can't change their mind now. They gotta stick to the bias.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to mess. I was trying to mess with Dino a little bit last night, and I couldn't find that option. So I'm trying to figure out what Dino actually does for us aside from that. And I mean, see if I can just use those effects somewhere else, because I really want our warriors to be able to post gifts.
The rules just need the empt permissions. That's all.
The what?
The embed permissions.
They have the embed permissions.
Really?
I set them up last night. Actually, I checked them last night. They were set up before that.
Oh,
It's Dino that's doing it. Yeah, so we got to see what else Dino does. We got to see what else Dino does. But yeah, overall, feeling a little bit bullish here. Again, I'm expecting that we're going to have some volatility. But, overall, things are looking relatively strong. Market opens in about 12 minutes, so we will see what actually ends up happening, right? Because we don't care so much for the what ifs and the what could. We care more about what is happening, right? Like as traders, we have to be reactionary. If you're scalping, you need to be moving with the trend of the day, right? And you need to be moving with the area that has momentum, right? So you're buying where buyers are, you're selling where sellers are. Swing trading is a little bit different, right? In the way that you can find something that's undervalued and you manage your risk through position sizing and you just hold, right? You can either hedge or manage risk by just again, right, sizing appropriately. But when we're kind of scalping this, right, like we're scalping the momentum. We're trading off of what's happening right now. So we are looking for a lot of confirmation. Good morning, John. Morning, John. Yeah, so we gotta see what happens at New York Open, and I have a feeling that we're gonna have big wild swings at Open. Sometimes we kind of get a little bit of a muted Open. I think that there's enough news that institutions are going to take advantage by shaking this thing all around, and I mean basically just cleaning out a bunch of retail traders. So if we get a real clear signal, we'll trade that, and if not, then we'll just wait for them to get done, absolutely liquidating everyone that doesn't, understand how markets function, and then we'll trade from there. But it really, really depends on what those first few candles look like on the 1 minute coming into Open. US 30 looking really strong in particular.
you think?
Hell yeah.
Nah, I was looking at US 30 earlier today and I was like, this looks really bad.
I disagree. I think that this trend that started about like an hour or 20 minutes ago, there's some strength here.
Yep.
Here. I wouldn't be surprised to see us draw back down to like 432 or even like 415. To be honest, I think the opening candles are going to be a lot bigger than that. But I imagine that we'll settle down somewhere in this area right here.
Yeah, but like in the grand scheme of the 4-hour chart, for example, this consolidation we're in right now is just horrific.
Well, if we're looking at longer term, yeah, I mean, I could see that. That's super cooked. But I really mean just for today, right? Just for today, I think that there is some serious potential.
Yeah.
I really do.
Yes, NM trades. I'm German.
He is German. Can we check silver? We could look at silver. We could look at silver real quick. Let's see what's happening with silver. Okay, so silver had this big drawdown, tested, came right back up. Super volatile, right? You see these big wicks. Been very choppy. Very choppy. I mean, I don't know. I feel pretty neutral on this if I'm just looking at the chart, to be so honest with you. If anything, a little bit bearish because we are under this point of control for today. And, you know, we hit really strong resistance up here. Hit really strong resistance right here, which is the same level as this, right? Hit it here again. And you know, we would need a ton of buying pressure to come in. Now, again, right, I think that precious metals will perform somewhat well at some point in the near future. If that's today, I don't know, right? I don't know. I don't know how quickly all of this new tariff news is going to be priced in. Like it's very, very hard to say. What is long term to you, NM?
Next 5 years.
Yeah, so I you know, I draw out a bunch of liquidity levels from like the daily and the 4 hour every day, right? That go back usually about like 2 months, something like that. Yeah, usually about 2 months. If we really wanted to zoom out, right, you would see that the indices just largely go up. They largely go up. Sometimes you have big economic failures, but you know, we are still sitting really close to the all-time highs, right? And I don't see, while I will say that I think that a lot of what's in the market right now is a bit overvalued. I think that it can come right back, right? I think that or rather not come back right back. I think that we can see those all-time highs again, and I think that we can surpass them, right? Because remember, again, the economy is forward-looking, or rather the market is forward-looking, and the market is not the economy, right? So even though the economy is a little bit rough, the market can still be fine. The economy's been rough for years, right? The economy's been rough for years in the US. It's gotten rougher this year, and yet we still hit new all-time highs, right? And inflation almost kind of helps that, right? Just because as the dollar is devalued because we're printing a ton, right? The dollar gets devalued as we're printing a ton. Kind of what I was explaining earlier, right? Is that everything that's valuated in dollars is suddenly worth more dollars, right? Because the value that these businesses create hasn't changed, but the units that we're using to measure them and to valuate them, that changes in value. Does that make sense? Okay, well, the market's opening in just a few minutes.
Yeah, grab your coffee.
Yeah, let me grab something to wake up because I want to be awake for market open. So give me just a moment. I will be right back. Icarus is taking over.
All right. So quick, guys. Now that he's away, let's full port. Nah, just kidding. So, coming back to the Bitcoin analysis for the long term, we saw that we got overnight quite a big drop on Bitcoin to the downside, pushing to 64.3 thousand. And what we really want to see is now that we retested this area, this breakout to the downside, that we will push further down to the next level, which is 60,000. So that's what I'm anticipating for Bitcoin. Yes, Chosen. We are leaning bearish, depending on the market. I don't really have a clear bias for like Nasdaq and US 30 because in my eyes US 30 will be a pretty choppy opening. But that's just me. As the order flow on TradingView is not really that great. Like you can still use it, but it would only make sense really if you were using like the heat map that I made, because the other order flow tools are not really that great. And you can ask multiple people. What are you saying, Hova? What up? What is holy? On Nasdaq? 1 minute or where? Man, damn. That's not too big. We've seen bigger. That's what she said. So we are 40 seconds before open. Ready up and don't have any positions open. We might be able to see a breakout here on gold. Keep that on the checklist and wait for confirmations. The same goes for US 30 and Nasdaq. We can break out, but we don't want to take any early positions down, especially on US 30. After we saw like this 1 minute candle with $300 to $400. I'm echoing because Father of Trades headset has like 120 decibels. All right, let's see. Okay. Got monstrous delta.
All right, look at that. Feeling optimistic. I'm going to see how we react to this liquidity level. A little bit of resistance.
I think we might be taking a move down after we touched into that gap there from market open.
Mm-hmm. I am cautiously watching this.
Gold is on the verge of a breakout here. Watching 176.
As predicted. Holding orders back on NASDAQ. Something's happening.
Yeah, it's down.
Yep, there we go.
I see it on my live broker feed.
Yep. I am just waiting.
I'm thinking about taking longs on US 30 here.
I was thinking about it too because it's just going, dude.
But we might already be way too high for that.
We might have missed the boat a little bit, but I really do think that US 30 in particular could see some more upside today. This fucking volume profile is hilarious on just today. Just wait, guys. Just wait. Trust me. Unless you're into gambling, unless you're just into gambling, wait a little bit. Just let it settle.
US 30 retracting a little.
Mm-hmm.
On the 5 minute.
Just let it settle down. Is that a double top? We will see. NASDAQ's actually holding pretty well. It's showing decent bit of strength.
Yeah, the delta to volume ratio is also pretty good. It's quite healthy.
All right, everybody, time to turn on our heat maps. Now that we've watched that opening. Just waiting for it to load. Let's go to the 5 minute real quick.
Yeah, 1 minute is way too ugly.
Yeah, the 5 minutes kind of showing that there's been a lot of strength here. I want to see
insane move.
Resistance. If we could break through this resistance up here, I'm gonna feel real good. I'm gonna feel real good if we break through this resistance up here.
If the 5 minute on US 30 closes, I'm taking longs here.
I would agree with that, especially because we come down. We had our little retracement down, right? I would like to see us hold this liquidity level, and I would feel really good about that. All right, let's see what NASDAQ does here. We're messing around right at the point of control. Rejected. Boom. That's a big move.
That's still holding.
Well, yeah, it is. There's a lot of selling pressure coming in at that point of control. This is a fight happening right now. US 30 just in consolidation now. Give it just a tiny bit.
That's some insane absorption on the 1 minute here on NASDAQ.
Yeah, seriously.
Ew. It's breaking down.
Yeah, but it's breaking down into just like this really, really big area of liquidity that we have. But if we drop below this, below like this 909, I think that's a really good short. It just doesn't seem to be happening right now. So, we'll hang a second. Like I said, I'm going into today being very
longs on gold. Damn, what a breakout. The fucking heat map doesn't even come close. No, it did. Jeez.
I think I'm gonna take a small long on NASDAQ. I want to see it get down here again. I think I've got a little bit of a handle on today. It's been choppy like we expected. It's been choppy yet kind of bullish as we expected. So.
And you're jumping into a small long?
Not quite yet. I'm waiting just a little bit because I want to see us. That's what I wanted to see. Is testing that value area low and testing this little area of liquidity. All right, I'm in a small long here.
TP on gold is about 5,200.
I've got my stop set at 920. There we go. Longed at 940. Stop at 920. I would like to see us hit this 973. That's the profit target. I'm going to move my stop up to 935 here. Here, I'll map that out for you guys. Let's do a different color. Not yellow.
For anyone into gold longs, you can put your stops on break even. If you entered anywhere near 175.
Stop loss sitting right below break even on NASDAQ. Hanging out at 935. We're largely de-risked on this trade. We didn't hit the very bottom, but that is a-okay. As long as we hit the majority of it, right?
Where did you get your fill?
940.
Oh, damn.
And my stop is super tight, but that's okay. Ooh, with just a few cents with it. All right, there it is. Stopped out. US 30 has an interesting potential range trade that could be made here. A little risky, but I do see a little bit of potential there.
All right, people of gold, we want to adjust our stop to 178. Put it up in profits.
Ooh, there we go. NASDAQ making a move now. Entering small short on NASDAQ here. All right, I'm in.
I think I'm gonna do that on US 30 here.
I got an 886. Getting a little bit of absorption here.
Entered into shorts US 30. Entry at 566.
There we go. There we go, NASDAQ. Give it a little bit more. There we go. All right, adjust stop to 865. And we are locking in profits regardless of what happens.
On gold, we also want to adjust our stops to 180.
Let's see if we get further downside on NASDAQ here.
Stops at 180 on gold.
Adjusting stop to 850 on NASDAQ short.
US 30, stop, break even. Also a little in profit now.
Very nice. Yeah, we're in profit on our NASDAQ short here.
Shit.
Took a $5 loss, $36 move on the downside here. So that's green for the day. We did just get some serious buyer absorption. Stopped out on the short. That was a good trade.
All right, taking profits here on US 30.
Yep. Yep, it is that time.
Can't complain.
Nope.
Just look at the fucking gold chart. Entry from 175.
It's pretty big. It's pretty big. I want to see how we react to this liquid zone. I suspect that we'll come trace up into it. Or not. Do we just dump from here? If we break these lows, then I'm just gonna short it. Right? I want to see us break this one right here and this one right here, right? Basically the same spot, very close together, like $1.50 apart.
Stops on gold adjusting from 180 to 182.
Oh, here's the test of that super liquid area.
Adjusting stop on gold to 184.
This is the test that we wanted to wait on. Okay. This is rejection. Let's see if we test again. There's another test and rejection. Okay.
Remember, guys, keep your profits safe. We got $10 more to go on gold.
Absolutely keep your profits safe. That is why we ended up walking our stop down from 86 all the way down until like 46.
Adjusting stop on gold to 186.
NASDAQ shorts are about to be in again. Yep. Shorting NASDAQ here.
Holy shit.
All right, I'm in. In at 816. Stop's going to be at 840.
Adjust stop on gold to 190 right now, or take profits right here. We're at 195. We're almost there.
And again, guys, make sure that you are using consistent position sizing. You can always add to a trade as it's working, but start off very, very consistent and only add to winners.
All right, I'm out of my gold trade here. That's it for me.
I'm still short NASDAQ. Gonna move my stop though. I'm gonna move it down to 830. So
I was about to do the same.
$14 loss. Holy shit. That came so close. Stopped out. Still do think that there's more shorts to come for NASDAQ, but you know, we're gonna have to respect the market here. It wants to do its little trace up. That's fine.
Anyone taking profits on gold? Congratulations, you did well.
Yeah, man. Sellers are not letting it hang out in this fucking liquid zone at all. Like remotely. Sellers are not having it today.
I might be jumping into a short on US 30 here for a $150 move.
I could see that.
Let's see.
Come right down to this 302. I could see that.
Oh, I think I'm gonna do that.
Careful, NASDAQ's moving up.
I'm using a tight stop, not too big. Short US 30, entry from 447.
Here.
Stop sits at 500.
I am shorting US 30 as well.
Holy shit.
Give us that nice move down. You start trailing your stops. Trail your stops. Trail your stops.
You can put it break even or take profits here.
Yeah. Absolutely.
We're up way much.
Absolutely.
As a matter of fact, I think I'm gonna step out right here.
I think this is wait. I feel like there's more. If we break these lows, dude,
right.
the thing is gonna just absolutely fucking crash.
I'm out.
I have taken partials, but I am holding out for this big one because I think it's coming right now. All right. I have de-risked. I am running on profits only on this US 30 short.
Damn.
Just letting a little bit of that position run. Because I think 303, 302 around there is like the full target. But again, I have sold, or rather bought back most of it, so. So now we're at a position where this trade's completely de-risked and I'm just letting profits ride.
NASDAQ might be.
Okay, profit stopped out. I'm out. I'm out of US 30. That was a good move.
Possible long here on NASDAQ.
Ooh, We'll see. It did just reject off that point of control. See, test again.
Yeah, longing here.
Yep. Yep. All right, I'm in. 884.
Stop is at 865.
That's 864. I'm $1 below you. I should map that out. Well, that's a successful test of the point of control. As support, there's another. You can get a third. There we go.
Oh my days.
Yes, there we go.
All right. Putting stop on break even here.
I don't want to do that quite yet, but I am going to move it from 64 up to 70 to 870.
I just don't like the absorption we just got here. This is deadly.
It could be.
This could backfire.
It could. That's why I just limited my risk a little bit.
All right. I am out.
I am not yet, but I probably will be in just a second. I will probably, yep, there it is, stopped out.
All right. I'm gonna be right back. Just give me a few.
Yep. US 30 shorts might be in play again here. Give it a second. Let's see how it reacts to this value area low. Give it just a sec. And again, guys, I'm going to keep reminding you, be consistent in your sizing. If you have consistent sizing and common sense risk management, you can do well. Wow, man, this heat map is turning blood fucking red. Would love to see a little bit of a retracement up here. Just to short it. Entering short on US 30. Filled at 293. Okay. Let's see what we got here. Stop's going to be up at 330 for me. I'm going to move it down to 320. Want to give it breathing room, but we want to keep ourselves safe. I'm going to move my stop to 310. Sorry, no, 315. I want it above my value area low. Just adjusting it real quick. I'll just here for you guys real quick. There we go. Adjusting to 305. tightening up the stop a little bit. We're seeing quite the fight play out right here. There we go. That's a breakdown. Let's see if we can get some continuation to the downside. Gonna set my stop to 300 now. And just adjusting that on my end. So now we are limiting ourselves to at most a $17 move into the red. We're short US 30. Oh, there we go. There we go. There we go. All right. Taking stop down to 75 here.
Dropping in here.
That's in profit. Taking stop down to 275.
Right, full TP on gold has been hit. 5,200.
Very nice. We have our stop slightly in profit on this US 30 short.
Yeah, just...
Holy shit. Okay.
I'm just getting
Stopped
rinsed
out.
here.
Stopped out. Stopped out with a very small profit. That's okay. We're keeping ourselves safe through proper risk management. So, you know, sometimes that happens.
It's funny because I actually entered short on 239 on US 30.
239?
Yeah.
Oh, you literally, yeah.
Just right here.
Entering another short here, maybe? Just want to see a little bit more. I want a little more information before I make that choice. That's a rejection on that liquidity level. Let's see what happens if we test it again here. That's another rejection. Is that a third? Third rejection? No? Yeah? No?
I don't want any rejection. I want breakdown.
All right, I'm
Just
back
complete
in.
Market collapse.
I got
Give
in
it to me.
I got in at 234. I'm back in. There we go. Let's set our stop up at 255. This nice pink line. Shorted at 234, stop at 255. Very tight stop.
That's actually insane.
What?
5,200 on gold was hit, and now it's starting to melt down.
Yeah, that's normal, right? It
Fucking
always
hell.
does that kind of shit. It'll trace up to a certain level or trace down and then just immediately reverse.
Yeah, but it's about the precision. Man, fucking
Still.
Nasdaq looks ugly.
Still just holding my US 30 short. All right, adjusting stop. I'm going to move it down. Oh, wow. Okay. Move it to 230.
I'm going to break even here.
I am a little bit in profit on my stop. I'm waiting to adjust it to 220. That's my next stop probably, unless we get some crazy fucking move down. This absorption is a little bit
Concerning.
a little concerning, but you know, I think we'll be okay. Right? You feel a lot better. Oh, stopped out. Stopped out at a very small gain.
Same.
Yeah, 54.67, literally just now. This is probably going to end up just being a wick.
Nah, I don't think so.
You don't think so? You don't think that this green candle's going to end up just being a fucking wick up?
It's in the spot where it could just return.
I mean, it could.
In this
Yeah.
giga consolidation range here.
Big ass wick on NASDAQ there. See, and that's why I wait for the continuation, because, like, yeah, did it break out of this prior action? Yeah, a bit, but, you know.
Yes,
it didn't have any
5467.
continuation. Liking NQ longs.
If you see anything that is telling you long here, I don't know.
I don't know that I see longs here, to be honest with you. I don't know that I see those. Oh God, what did he say? What did he say? That ended up being a big wick.
Cut that out. I didn't say anything.
No, I'm just saying that ended up being a big wick. We were talking about wick stopping us out. That's exactly what stopped me out, was a fucking anomalous wick to the upside.
Damn. Don't do me dirty, US 30.
Dirty 30, bro. It's dirty 30. At least US 30 is fucking tradable today.
Yeah.
That's a nice change of pace. And I hope nobody is thinking about longing US 30, because you don't catch a falling knife, okay? That's how you cut your fucking hand.
Oh my days.
Ooh, if you're still
might be
short,
going,
you better take out. Yeah.
Might be going into shorts on NASDAQ here. Yeah.
Oh,
enter
yeah.
short.
Entering short NASDAQ. All right, I'm in. Filled at 817. I got in at a good price amidst all that chaos.
I got at 812.
Setting stop at 840.
That big stop?
Mm-hmm.
Then you might as well just not even use the stop.
You're tripping, dude. Shorted at 817 to 840. That's not that big of a fucking stop.
840 is huge.
You're tripping, dude. These are all small positions too. No, KXY, it's not about, you know, forget your idea. It's just think about what were some warning signs that you could have seen, right? This massive buyer absorption buy side liquidity getting swept out. I am moving my stop down to 820 on NASDAQ, right? And think about today, right? Think about the trend that we've been seeing. To be honest with you, I thought that we would be very volatile today, which we have been. I thought that precious metals would do well, which they have. And then I was really indecisive on the direction as of like today, right? I think that over the longer term that we're going to see a little bit of a pump, right? We're largely de-risked on this trade, by the way. If you entered with me at about 817 or so, you have your stop at 820, like we're in a good spot. So, we're limiting losses. Just chill out. Let's see what happens, right? It wouldn't be too crazy for us to just kind of hang out here for a few minutes and drop.
I got rinsed.
Or get stopped out right now. Okay, I'm stopped out. That's done. Yeah, don't fight the trend, okay? So if you see that everyone is selling, then you should be selling too. Yeah, I sometimes I'll throw on the trailing, but lately I've started to really enjoy just kind of manually trailing mine down. Right?
Yeah, I know.
It's such a what?
HS. It's like Hurensohn in German. It's like son of a bitch.
Yeah, it is that. What is that? Son of Schlumper? Son of Schlumper? Yeah. See, I know German bad words, okay? Son of Schlumper.
Professional roaster.
The professional roaster. Hey, I know bad words in all kinds of languages.
Same. If I run out of German words, I often switch. But that only happens when I'm like really tilted.
We're seeing we're seeing some real bearish action on US 30. I think it's almost time. I think it's almost time to do it again. Yo, Tyler laughing all the way to the bank today, bro. Bezos looks like a evil villain from a fucking 90s movie.
Because he's bald?
I think it's more about the head shape.
Yeah, it's so round.
It's very round. I think it's more about the head shape. All right, taking short on US 30 here. Small short. Test the waters.
Shorting from here?
Yes.
Damn.
Yeah, filled at 870. So yeah, no, I'm shorting here. I'm feeling good about this.
I'm not taking any trades anymore today. Like, I am up so incredibly much.
Dude, I'm having a great day.
The callouts were so on point today.
Yep. Stop at 90. Stop at 90. If we get a little bit more downward pressure, then I'll adjust down. Ooh, bulls are trying to put up a fight here. They want to claim that point of control. Not looking likely so far. Adjusting stop down to 80, 49.80. Ooh, stopped out. Scammy ass candle. You know you're gonna go lower. Yeah, everyone who's been trading along with this should be like mega fucking green. So everyone should be mega fucking green off this. And if you want access to these streams every day and you want to make money every fucking day, join Premium. Link in the chat for this channel. That's okay, Nitrum. We'll keep the seat for you. We'll keep the seat for you, bro. Yeah, if you want to keep up on all of the news, what it means for markets, you want the swing plays, you want to hop in this stream every day and trade and make some fucking money, and join Premium, right? Go hop in that. Don't miss out. NQ25 is a 25% discount code until March 1. So you have a limited time to get that discount. Literally goes away on Sunday morning. So get in there. Oh man, look at that. They really did scam me out with that fucking wick. Ooh, this is a big liquidity level. Oh, this is a big one. Taking small short here. Nope.
Immediately gets scammed.
Nope. I couldn't even enter it, bro. I couldn't even enter it. Before I could even do it, it just fucking started looking scammy to the upside. I'm telling you, like I think this thing goes down lower, believe it or not. Like I really do. Factory orders are down. GDP is down. Like we're watching the economy come to a grinding fucking halt here in the US.
Just entered a small short here.
I'm waiting a sec. Okay, I'm in. Filled at 14.
Oh man, where did you enter?
Yeah, I got 14. Stop's gonna be at 45. Stop will be at 45. I'll try to avoid getting scammed out. We'll see how that works. Hey, good job. Good job, Nolly D. Good job.
Yo, Nelly, it's not weird. It's not a weird market at all. Like,
Now,
it's probably one of the most cleanest price action days we've had in a while.
I'll say, dude, Friday was weird. I'm going to move my stop down to 30. I know that's very tight, but we're going to do it. because I have a little bit of a pause with this potential absorption. Just a little bit of a pause. I'm going to move stop down to 20. Because we entered at 14 on that short.
Phew. I dropped it break even here.
I'm going to move my stop down to 910 now. 49.010. Slightly in profit. Slightly in profit. Some big boy was just trying to push it down, I think.
I'm fine with that.
Yeah. We got that big shake to the downside. I think that this goes further.
Yep, here it comes.
Adjusting stop to 49,000 even. All right, we're adjusted. 49 even. Which isn't terrible considering that we entered at 49.14, right? So there we go. There we go. Adjusting stop down to 95. And I'm placing it. There we go. All right. Stop at 95. Very tight. Stopped out. Boom. That is just fine. That's a good trade. That's okay, Nitron. We're gonna be here when we're gonna be here for you, bro. We're gonna be here for you. Big chillin'. Oh, we got Conquest back in the house. What's up, brother? We got Dynamite in the house. Let's go.
Closing my US 30 short here.
I got stopped out of mine. They scammed me, but that's okay.
My stop didn't get filled.
Sometimes it pisses me off when that happens, but sometimes I'm like, yeah, nice. Thank you for not stopping me out. Jeez, dude, look at this dump.
It's mega.
Holy shit. This thing's down $650 on the fucking day. Wow, man.
Yeah, I think this is it.
Well, KXY, what that might mean is that you need to... Yes, Nitrom. Yes, we've been shorting the ever-living shit out of today. KXY, so maybe what that means is that you need to take smaller positions and use a wider stop. Right? What is this PA? It's a meltdown. It's super clean. This is one of the cleanest market crashes you'll ever see. The only issue that you would have had today is if you're trying to long this shit. And again, like, I'm looking at this chart. I don't see any reason to long. To be honest, I thought we were going to be a lot choppier. Like, we're having some broader market volatility, but I thought that the price action was going to be kind of, you know, more like what NASDAQ's doing right here, right? Where it's just kind of chopping people out, or what it did for these 10 minutes. But realistically, like, this price action is pretty clean. US 30 was definitely the right thing to watch today. Yeah, realistically, the only issue I think that anyone would have is if they're trying to long this shit today. And again, like if you're looking at this chart, this is not a chart that you long, right? Why don't we catch a falling knife, chat? Why do we not catch a falling knife? It's gonna cut the fuck out of your hand. So I normally keep mine about 20 away from the current price, anywhere from 20 to 30. 20 in the beginning of the day, 30. I keep mine about 30 away from the current price, right? My stop about $30 away from current price. Like if it's moving in my favor, right? Like if my trade is working, it's going the right direction. Yep. We'll see you, Nitrom. I'll catch you in just a bit, brother. Cheers. Yeah. So, you know, I kind of manually trail it down and follow the price as it goes, right? It is difficult because the thing is that you also, in order to kind of do this, you need to not trade into consolidation, right? You need to be trading into clear breaks of structure. Does that make sense, KXY? So you want to wait for this move to really begin, right? So we don't trade here, we don't trade here. Okay, it breaks down right here. This is where we trade, right? It breaks down below these wicks, right? It breaks the little microstructure it has right here. Boom, that's where we trade. Just like right now, like this is edging on being a good short potentially. Because this sell pressure is persistent. It is still going, right? It's still fucking going. Have you been in this stream the whole time, 5467? Have you been in stream with us? We've been calling out the shorts over and over. Are you inversing us?
If he was in here and didn't take the trades, he might as well be allergic to profits.
What are you doing, 54? There's a daily minimum profit, so you have to be profitable every single day.
Sounds like a shit rule.
That's a tough rule, man. That's a tough rule. Not gonna lie, that's super tough. Because even the best traders are gonna have a red day every once in a while.
Honestly, 5-4, just go to a CFD prop firm and get an account there. Because the rules on CFD accounts are so much more chill.
Yeah, usually. I've been doing a lot of research into them lately, and yeah, I like the CFDs.
Yeah, like nearly every futures prop firm I've seen has the worst possible rule set ever. Like, it's like it's designed to just rinse people. On CFD evaluations, you at least have a chance. Dog, Lucid is futures.
And again, guys, if you want to access these streams every day and get these call outs every single day, join our warrior program. Link is in chat right now. It's that premium. Join the warrior program if you want a little bit of one-on-one mentorship. Join the legend program. Like, seriously, do not miss out, because this discount isn't going to last forever. Like, it's going away in just a few days. And after that, it won't be here anymore. So take advantage right now. Get in here, join us. You see how accurate we are. Come make money. Right? If you were here from the very beginning of the stream, then you heard all about the tariffs. You heard about what we could expect out of the tariffs, right? You heard about kind of the midterm outlook, and then you shorted the shit out of everything, right? You shorted absolutely everything except for gold. We longed that. Which, speaking of which, gold is recovering back to where you guys originally had your take profit at that 5,200.
Yes, sir.
That's looking kind of good right now, you know. Got the higher lows, got some higher highs. It's not looking bad. I mean, I'm not going to be taking it because I think I'm pretty much done for the day.
I'm so much done for the day.
But yeah, no, it's something to keep an eye on, right? Something to keep an eye on. All right, guys. Well, I think that's a good spot to end it here. Again, join up on the Warrior program. Come make some fucking money. You see JP doing great. Everybody, please go post your gains in the free chat. Go post some pictures in free chat. Show off those gains. Right? Let everyone know what they're missing by not being here. The early bird gets the worm. Come join these streams early. Get yourself in that warrior program. And we got it. App tab, it's going to be right here. Oh, yeah, Icarus is faster. Yeah, Nally D, that's the 8. Solid, bro. Solid. JP killed it. JP killing it. Nally D, solid. No. Good job, guys. Good job. Oh, he can't post the gains yet. Vision's gonna post those gains soon, though. He's still in shorts. Let's go.
Really? You're still holding Nasdaq shorts?
Hey,
ew.
My man's got balls of steel. Okay. No, it's good. It's good. But real shit. You know, it's this is how you win, right? You have to learn first. You got to put in the effort, put in the time, put in the work. And you can absolutely do this, okay? All right, guys. Well, I will see you tomorrow. We have another free stream tomorrow, so join in. And then Wednesday is going to be Warriors only. So get in, make this money. I'll catch you guys tomorrow, okay? Cheers, everybody.
All right.
Cheers.
See ya.
See ya.